Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of PKM Weekly. So let's see what's been in store for us from the past week. First up, Thymer. They've posted some milestones that they want to achieve to move from alpha to beta. So obviously just now it's currently in closed alpha testing, but they want to move to beta as soon as possible. And the milestones that they've published online that they want to achieve are mobile in a tolerable state. I don't find it too bad for the time being, but they want to fix it and make sure it's top notch before being opened up. Get the desktop apps published and released, and new signups can effectively use Thymer for about 10 minutes without running into any major bugs or glitches. And the timing that they've put on for that is February 2026, that's a target date. So hopefully they're going to achieve that, which I think is great news because that's about 2 months since the alpha was opened up, and it just means that then new signups can use Thymer without many issues. So good job on that one from the devs. There was a great plugin that was posted by Phil, that is the Thymer importer. So you can import CSVs as well as markdown files, and it's specifically trained on Obsidian data. And he does plan to update it with imports from other apps. So you can do the usual thing, bulk imports for front matter, smart property detection, folder, wikilink, and Obsidian syntax, and with the CSV, paste or upload, smart type detection, and other things. Just one thing to note, it can't currently import attachments and it will not render markdown equivalent in Thymer, which don't exist yet. So for example, tables or dividers, but it does help you in the sense of getting your notes across to Thymer quite quickly and easily. So thank you for that, Phil. And Dave, he created a new theme, the chocolatey brown theme for Thymer. And you can see a bit of a preview here. So through CSS, you can quite easily tweak Thymer to your liking, so some great stuff there. And then what I did was a little bit of time, so I stress tested Thymer a little bit. So if we just check here, 6,000 notes, give or take, and you can see the speed of it, no slowdown, no issues or anything of that sort. So it works as expected, just with either 1 note or 1,000 notes. And let's just check quickly another one. So for example, in this space here, what I've got is I have various different plugins enabled. So you can see all the plugins that I have here, various different collection plugins as well. In the trash, I have a number of collections that I was testing out. So numerous pages, numerous things running. And you can see, oops, if I open this one here, just to give you a bit of an indication, click here, and you can see it basically scrolls just as quick as you would expect. So some great stuff from Thymer guys on that one. And also, just to showcase some of the creations that the various different users have been created already, whilst it's in alpha, an awesome Thymer repo, where you can see various different plugins that have been created. I'm sure I've missed some of the examples, one that the devs gave, and as well as some collection plugins and some examples here, as well as some themes. So at least you can see what is possible in Thymer in these in a month or so that since it's been released. So that's that on that one. Obsidian, they've updated the roadmap, maybe last week, the week before, but I thought I'd post it this time. And what they're going to do is localize onboarding, so automatically detect the system language, and translate the onboarding and search a base. So I'm guessing that's just like a quick Control F on the base itself. What I'm mostly interested about is calendar view for bases, as well as the Kanban view for base as well. So looking forward to these ones being released, as well as the ever elusive PDF annotation, which we seem to always be waiting for native support in PDF.js before that can be released, but really looking forward to those ones. So some good stuff coming out from Obsidian on their roadmap that they've got planned. Next up, Paul, he did a stop losing saved content. This is this Obsidian discovery system. So a lot of the videos that we see are made on quick capturing things, but not a lot on the retrieval and the discovery of your notes once you put them into Obsidian or any other note-taking app that you're using. And what Phil's done is looked at his new Discovery Vault, which helps him capture and filter content from YouTube, Reddit articles, and more. And instead of losing interesting things, he's got a way of basically retrieving it so that he can analyze them and focus on what matters. So great video to check out from Paul, so thank you for that. And if you're interested, there is an Obsidian plus Cloud Code 101. So Henrik, he posted something on, or an article I should say, not something, on Twitter about some of the things that he wished he knew before starting out, and it goes into the very detail of how he set it up, what he believes is philosophy, what it could do, and various different other things so that you can get started as easily as possible. And it's just some of the pointers that he wished he knew before he started so that hopefully you can shortcut the process. There was an interesting post on Reddit on the ultimate guide on how to use Obsidian for noobs or newbies or new users, and basically looking for one post, single post where you can share how you use Obsidian, which plugins you rely on, and what advice you would give to the beginners. And some great stuff that have been posted in the Reddit, so well worthwhile checking out if you are thinking of getting started with Obsidian or seeing what other people are saying. That was it for Obsidian. Now Capacities. They've had to move from Canny to Frill for the feedback process, and really it's because of a cost issue. Canny sunset the legacy plan that they were on, and it's now very expensive to justify the cost, so they've moved to the Frill. It's kind of the similar thing, just slightly differently laid out, slightly different features, but they've moved across everything that they could based on certain criteria that they had, and you can check it out here and see what it looks like, and you can see it's very similar to what Canny looked like, and just post your feedback to the team here. There was a couple of comments, or a few comments in Discord saying when's the new release going to happen, what's going on, what's happening, and I think this came off the back of a release notes being published before the actual release, which was deleted quite quickly, and the devs have said an update is coming a couple of days, and then another one posted next release dropping on Monday. Super excited for it. So just wait a couple of days, as Monday looks like it could be a big day, and we shall see what the devs have planned for us. Tana, they've got a new Systems Lab event series happening, and it's looking at building on the live format, map out the underlying system, and build common workflows, just to explore multi-viable builds and not just one. So the first up is the CRMs in Tana. There's no one size that fits all for CRMs. People want to track clients, deals, others, friends and follow-ups, etc., etc. So on Thursday the 29th at 9 PM Eastern, no idea what time that is locally for me, 6 PM Gulf, 2 PM UK time, you can sign up and join Mark and the team on building a CRM system in Tana. And they've also got a couple of other things going on from the community side. A drop-in session with Ev. She's going to run twice a week sessions starting on the 28th of January, a few days from now. And it's basically a drop-in session. I posted the wrong link, that doesn't help. Let's see if this starts up. I will change this link to be the more proper one. So drop-in sessions, and you can see it's actually starting on the 27th my time. But you can see the various different things of drop-in sessions, and already a few people already joined and planning to join. So some great stuff, and thank you Ev for doing that. And there's another one, a note-taking cohort led by Theo. 4 weeks in February, build your own knowledge library with a small group. So register your interest in Google, and I'm sure Theo will do a great job in terms of getting you up to speed with Tana and building something that you want. Logseq, they have a self-hosted sync. The refactoring DB sync server is nearing completion, and with this one it's going to be possible to self-host. So some great stuff, and the dev Tiensen commented, we're very close, we've tested it internally, still some bugs, but the good news is only one major issue, and they have been able to reproduce, and they will start fixing it. So the testing will start next week. So quite a lot of excitement in the Discord on this one, because you can self-host it. So some great stuff from the Logseq team on that one. And then there's another PR with introduce a comprehensive Logseq CLI for reading and writing DB graphs, full Node.js, etc., etc. So basically using Logseq with CLI and quite a lot of capabilities available. And last up, it was nice to see Dario back on YouTube. He posted a quick video of his updates for 2026 and his content plans. And in it, some great stuff planned for Logseq. So really looking forward to that one, especially with the DB mode. So great stuff from Dario, and looking forward to seeing his videos on Logseq as well as Tana. And any other videos that Dario posts, because they're usually always very good. Joplin, they had a pre-desktop release version 3.6 that's now available. You can download that. Various different updates, as you can see here. Error support, support for external embeds, improved fountain notes exported as PDF, accessibility, editor inline, etc, etc. So a lot of fixes, a lot of improvements to Joplin. So well worthwhile checking that one out if you haven't already. Workflowy, they released the 1st January 2026 update, patch notes, cross tab, drag and drop, improvements to number lists, dates, and a lot more. And the easiest thing with this one is just to check out the Twitter post, because they do actually go through with various different videos, and there's a few things here. Number lists, how they've improved them within Workflowy. So you can get a bit of an idea from the brief video. Dates, how you can now search better with dates, use custom date formats and various different things with natural language processing, and some other general updates that the team has implemented. So great stuff from the Workflowy team on that one. Heptabase, they have now got an AI suggested question for newly created charts, and you just need to enable the setting, and a quick video here of how it works, chat button, AI chat, and various different questions that come up and that you can then select. So some great stuff, and especially a lot of integration with AI from the Heptabase team. Octarine, they've released 0.33.5. Code syntax highlighting has been improved significantly. So it now uses Shiki for syntax highlighting, providing more accurate highlighting and better theme support. And from what I've seen, it's a lot quicker than, I guess, the previous system that they were using. It now allows for 300 plus languages, and you can support tab and shift tab for indenting and outdenting within the code block. So that's great stuff. Various different improvements that you can do, and you can now drag and drop from the side into the notes, and that will create a link directly, as well as a fix is that they've implemented to Octarine. And last up was Recall. This is not last week, I think it's the week before, but they released Recall Graph 2.0, and there's a full tutorial on how you can use Recall, which I think is a great app. And the 26-minute video by one of the co-founders, I believe she is, goes through how you can use it, what you can do with it, and how she uses it so that you can get the most out of it. And in the video she explains what is a graph view, custom connections, filtering and customizing your graph, finding paths, and real flow. And this uses a lot of AI to basically match your notes, link them up, and create a graph view from your notes. So if you want to see the links within your notes, this is a great way of doing it. And that was it for this week, so thank you very much for being here, and I shall see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.